play.
Calling all sports fans, grab your MVP card and head to Duffy's where you can catch all of the action. Not an MVP? Sign up for free and start earning rewards today. Duffy's is voted the best sports grill year after year with their award-winning burgers and wings. Don't forget about Duffy's famous 2-for-1 drinks all day, every day. And with over 80 TVs in every location, you'll never miss a minute of the game. Visit Duffy'sMVP.com to learn more. Duffy's, our game is always on.
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Ball game, Rizzo! Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Collins!
A wonderful outdoors edition of Russo and Rizzo. Friday, May 16th, 2025. Appreciate you coming aboard as we are live from Park Vista High School, where we got a beautiful high school football jamboree that is going to be taking place here in just about an hour, maybe 40 minutes. Throughout the next couple hours here, we get 6 teams from the surrounding area that are going to be playing. Only in South Florida can you find spring football. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo with you. We got Christian Cat helping us out back at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. We're live on ESPN 106.3 on your radio dial. Also streaming live at ESPN West Palm on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X. Next 2 hours right here, we got a packed program ahead. We got Evan Cohen of Unsportsmanlike joining us at 4:40 to break down Mike's three-point shooting performance, which took place earlier today on the YouTube channel against Lindsay Lowry, who is one of our teammates at Good Karma Brands at ESPN West Palm, who is a former three-point specialist for University of Albany. Mike was under the impression that he could beat her in a standalone three-point shooting contest. And you have to check out the YouTube channel to see what happened.
There needs to be context here. I never said that. I don't know what I don't know how things got construed into that. Our GM Stephanie Prince nonetheless said, "Riz,
I've never seen her more excited about having an event."
Stephanie nonetheless came up to me and she goes, "Riz, you're going to go up against Lowry," and I'm like, "What? What? Am I going to tell her no?" I did not think I was going to beat Lindsay, but at the same time, it was fun. I surprised myself a bit, but at the same time, Kyle, I left a lot out there. I could have had a lot more. I really dropped the ball.
Left a lot out there. You didn't make threes. What do you mean you left it all out there?
I left it out there, man. The rack that I really let everybody down on was the second one. I didn't make a single one, and that was my sweet spot.
You're under the impression you let everybody down?
Yeah, I let everyone down only hitting 10. I really did. And it's 40%. 10 to 25 is not bad. But I really thought I could have been. My goal was 12. If I'm being completely transparent, my goal was 12 heading into that. I fell short of it, but 10 is still a respectable number. And we pick yourself up by your bootstraps, Bill, and you move on. You
can check out the YouTube channel at ESPN West Palm. You could see a live video also on our socials of Mike Rizzo trying to beat a former collegiate basketball player, a former sharpshooter at the collegiate basketball level in a three-point shooting contest.
To Lindsay's credit, let's give her some credit. She shot with a men's ball unknowingly, and I did not even know that, and she still hit 14 out of 25. And she missed her first, four?
She started over 4.
And then she rattled off 14 with a men's ball. Obviously,
14 to 21.
That's very impressive. It was very impressive. The undisputed three-point champion, Good Karma Brands. Congratulations to Lindsay. It was a lot of fun today, too. I got to see a lot of teammates.
This is classic,
Yeah. I got to ask
glad
you a
to be
question,
out there, got a good sweat going. It's one of those, you're being the modesty player post-game interview cards. That's what
I am. I definitely am, because to be honest, I didn't want to do this. And I did not want to do this, but I saw how excited Stephanie was for it, and she goes, "It's going to be great for the station." I'm like, what, am I going to say no? So I for that point, I'm happy. But I also got to see how many teammates are actually very terrible at basketball, and we have a lot of teammates that are terrible at basketball.
So this is your opportunity to target the people that we work with and trash their basketball ability.
And listen, different strokes for different folks. I understand. I'm probably worse at some sports than other teammates and vice versa. But Christian, I'll tell you what, there are a ton of broken jump shots out there shooting today.
Yeah,
a ton of broken jump shots shooting out there today.
The opponent that you faced was a college basketball player. Yeah, I don't think it was that impressive for her to beat you. Like she did that for her academics, right?
She was upset she didn't hit more in true Lindsay fashion. She was actually upset with her performance.
Yeah.
It's a footnote.
14 to 21 she hit.
Or 25, I don't
well,
know. Yeah,
minus the first 4.
Yeah, but she was upset. Regardless, man, Christian, honestly, I know you don't want to hear it, mate, but I definitely could have at least got 12. I left a ton out there. I know that might sound out as a cop-out.
God, I can't listen to that.
But I'll take 40%. I'll take 10 or 25, and you move on. You move on with your life.
You move on? You're over this?
I'm over it.
You're over challenging people to basketball?
I did not make this challenge. Theo actually challenged. First off, the 2 times, okay? The 2 times that I've played basketball, I was the one who got challenged. Now, to Theo's credit, I was the one who got upset and said, yeah, I would beat anybody in the office. Theo took me up on it. We played one-on-one, and I won. This time around, our GM, Stephanie Prince, said, Riz, Lindsay would whoop your butt. And I didn't want to do it, but Stephanie was really excited about it. I could tell, and I said, all right, you know what? I'll do it.
This is all Stephanie here. This is all Stephanie.
Oh, dude, it was Steph. I didn't listen.
This is Stephanie, who's the general manager of our station, our boss, for lack of a better term.
And let's get one thing in perspective. When Steph says jump, I ask how high. Okay, so at this point, I didn't have I wasn't obligated to say no, and I was very happy that Stephanie was happy, and it seemed like our entire team had a great outing today at the Perseverance basketball courts. Would you agree on that? Yeah. It seemed like everybody was very happy, and Christian, if my misery brings joy to our teammates, that's what I'm here for.
You got to own it. You got to own it. You got to wear it.
And I
hate losing.
And I hate losing. I was,
Which is why I'm surprised by this whole,
losing.
We just went out there and competed card, What
do you want me to do, man? I got my butt beat. I'm pissed. Don't get me wrong. I'm pissed.
That's life. Speaking of returns, Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Juan Soto is going back to Yankee Stadium today for the first time since he signed with the New York Mets just about 6 months ago, a little less. And everybody's making a huge deal out of this. A huge deal because number one, it's the Subway Series. It only happens once a year in each park. But number 2 is it's some big triumphant return.
It is.
It's but hold on. Let's get this straight for a second.
It is.
But he played there for 1 year.
And they went to a World Series, and he
played there for 1 year.
And he hit the clincher home run in Game 5 in Cleveland, a dead center to the Jim Thome trees.
But that's
what are we talking about?
Hold on, that's the guard. Hold on, I get this. Good 1 year. They didn't win anything. He didn't win an MVP.
I'll tell you what.
Not the best. He was best hitter on his team in the postseason. He wasn't the best hitter on his team.
I'll tell you
what.
He played good enough to win a World Series. The team didn't. The team failed him. The team failed once.
Well, you don't say that in baseball.
The
team needs to play well.
But he played good enough to win a World Series.
But my point being is, why am I making such a big deal? He played there for 1 year, and then he left for $800 million.
Because he went across town.
For $800 million.
Partner.
It is not a big deal.
Here's the thing. You and Christian are East Coasters. You could speak better than I can.
I agree. It'll be fun to watch. It'll be fun to see. But this is some, Andy Pettit to the Astros moment. This is not that.
To downplay Juan Soto's move from the Yankees, the most notable franchise arguably in the world, maybe outside of Manchester United and Real Madrid, and then to go cross down to the rival Mets in the Subway Series team Mets, that's a big deal.
After 1 year.
Bro, that's a big deal.
I understand.
And the Yankees, but hang on.
This is not that. He played there for 1 year. They have no rings to show for it. He had no MVPs. And he played well in the postseason. And then he left for $800 million. It's not like he just did it because he wanted to leave.
He put the Yankees back on the map by winning an AL pennant. The Yankees could not get to a12, 13 years.
16 years.
Why Soto joins?
I get that. There's nothing wrong with that. But the idea that this is some big snake returning. Juan Soto's played for 4 teams. He's a mercenary. He's a hired gun. He was going to go to whoever paid him the most money. And the Mets ended up being that.
You know how the Yankees are. The Yankees were what? And Christian Cad, a Yankee fan, feel free to fact check me on this. What? They were going to offer Soto like $20 million less, okay? And he decided
50, but yes.
but you understand that he decided to take more money instead of stay in New York with the brand that is stay on the other side of New York rather, with the brand that is the Yankees and the allure that it is to be a New York Yankee. He said, "Screw your tradition, screw that. I'm going to go cross town to the Mets and I'm going to win a World Series for the other team."
All right, he didn't say screw the tradition. He said all he said is I have so much money on this side.
But he, in my opinion, he indirectly said screw being a Yankee and what that means. I'm going to take the and I'm about to say what's the difference between $50 million when you're making $650 comparatively.
Not to him.
So there you go. I think that's a valid point too. I don't know. I think New York fans should boo the hell out of him. I really do. If I were a Yankee fan, I'd be booing the hell out of him.
He's going to get booed out the wazoo. He's going to get booed out the wazoo.
And I don't mind it.
But I'm just trying to
listen, you know me. I'm usually on Yankee
I'm trying to put this into context. This is not somebody leaving after 8 years and 2 World Series and an MVP, making his career there. This is somebody who was acquired and then somebody who played for 1 season there. They had a great season. He's a great player. He's been a great player wherever he has played. And he ended up leaving because they knew that they couldn't afford him. And they offered him a good amount. They went up to $700, which was the number that people were questioning whether Steinbrenner could get to. And then he took more money to go play for whatever his name is, Steve Cohen. And the Mets. That's it. It's not about the spitting on the Yankee tradition. This is about whoever gave him the most money.
He didn't care about being a New York
All he cared about was the money. That's the point.
Should mean something. It means something, those Yankee fans. It's fair play to them. It should be. They're the most recognizable team in baseball. It should mean something. Excuse me, like a player like Juan Soto to be a New York Yankee. In your first year, you go to a World Series. God forbid you want to run it back or something. God forbid you want to go back to the World Series and win a World Series and take $700 million instead of $750.
Everybody knew. Everybody knew he was going to take the highest bid.
And you know I can't stand the Yankees more than any team in the MLB. And I can't believe I'm the one defending Yankee fan here. But Yankee fan has every right to boo that guy.
I just don't think it's that big of a deal.
Boo that guy.
There are moments in time where Yankees have guys leaving where it has been a bigger deal than Juan Soto. Because Juan Soto has been there for 1 year. This guy didn't win anything for the Yankees. He's not going to get a tribute video. It's none of that. He played there for 1 season.
He is going to get a tribute video. He actually is. That is going. It is confirmed.
I do not think he is going to get it. That is confirmed?
It's confirmed. He is, yes. He's going to get a tribute video.
That is ridiculous. Talk about something that is stupid. What a waste of time.
Carried him to a World Series.
It doesn't matter. He's played there for one season. 1 season. Being a great Yankee is like being a great Laker. You got a little bit more than go into a finals appearance. Yeah, the Cleveland fan writes home about it, but this is the Yankees we're talking about. And he's going to get a tribute video? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I heard that was a conversation. I did not hear that was confirmed, that he's going to get one. That is so dumb. What is he doing? I'm down on what? Wait,
you're down.
Why should we give him it?
I meant to say, you're downplaying the Subway rivalry. You're
downplaying.
I'm not.
They should be about the rivalry between the Mets and the Yankees.
And that's why Yankee fans are mad.
But he should not be the poster boy about it. It's always been Mets-Yankees, one of the top teams in the NL versus one of the top teams in the
that's the story.
In
the
the
guy
AL.
tucked tail, took more money.
All I'm saying is this is not a big deal.
Crossed down.
I don't know why this has turned out to be like, the Joseph, whatever the guy's, Benedict Arnold.
You're history guy.
Who turned around. Mike, please, I said Benedict Arnold. The guy who turned his back on the Yankees because of the pride of the Yankees. It's nothing to do with that. This was the hired gun. They didn't want to pay him the money that the Mets did, and that's why he left. And for the idea that the Yankee fan, who honestly, ask most Yankee fans, they're happy with the fact that he left and they didn't have to give him the $800 million and then restrict him and not getting Max Fried, who's the Cy Young #1, by the way. They wouldn't get him.
I'd go Hunter Brown, but I understand the point.
It's going to be Max Fried at the moment. And they got Max Fried, who's playing the best out of any AL pitcher right now, and they got Paul Goldschmidt, who's second in the American League in a batting average. So is the Yankee fans, should they be that pissed off, other than the fact that the Mets had a spiritual victory against them for the first time in forever? And should they be really that pissed off comparatively? Because if you think about that team, what they would have been versus what they are, yeah, do the Yankees have glaring problems? Has Devin Williams been a mess? Yes. But the fact is, they wouldn't be able to get guys like that. They would not have Goldschmidt. They would not have Devin Williams. They would they might have Williams, but they would not have Max Fried if it wasn't for Juan Soto leaving. So the idea that we should treat this as, the biggest traitor in the history of traitors in Yankee history is coming back is complete asinine. And the other fact that he's getting an actual tribute video is a complete joke as well.
We got to hold the phone on that.
1 year.
I got bad information. It's not confirmed whether or not there will be a tribute video. Still up in the air.
This is bad on your part. See, I knew that this was a conversation. So,
hey, let me rebuttal what you said. And I get it. The Yankees did good in free agency as of right now. It's a long season. Max Fried looks great. Goldschmidt looks great. The pieces around him look great. All right? But at the same time, Juan Soto, MVP candidate. Juan Soto, very pulverizing figure. Juan Soto, arguably, you can sit here and tell me Stanton, I'll listen to it. Arguably the face of that postseason run that finally got him back to the World Series.
Without a doubt.
And then the fourth part, going cross town to the Mets. listen, you can boo him. And, of course, it's a storyline.
I'm not saying they should boo him. I'm just not saying that this should be the biggest story in sports because it's not even the biggest thing in New York going on. That's my
the Knicks and
so
the Celtics.
that's the idea that this is just some big, we got to let this guy have it the whole time. They're going to boo him, fine. But the Yankees are almost better off that they don't have to deal with it. And I think Yankee fans might tell you that, but I think they're more upset by the idea that the Mets got a spiritual victory over them in acquiring and getting a free agent.
Yeah.
That was it.
It's there.
It's less about Juan Soto actually leaving. I think it's more about a prized possession free agent favoring the Mets, and it's just because of money, but favoring the Mets, outspending, outgetting, and outclassing the Yankees in free agency to go get a big player. And that is more of the gut punch ego shot to the Yankee fan.
And I talk about, what it means to be a Yankee and the status or whatever you may call it within the MLB. Yeah, you bet your bottom dollar that Yankee fan is upset that he didn't want to stick around with the right team in New York. I mean, that's what every Yankee fan tells you is that a Met fan, they got to have their head examined rooting for the Mets and not the Yankees. And this was a big win for Met fans, I think, everywhere. And not only, I know the Yankees are playing well. Let's get the Mets their flowers, too. I know a lot of people are down on the Mets heading into this year, and that over-under is a crazy over-under. I agree with that. But Soto's played good. Pete Alonso has arguably been an NL MVP candidate maybe at this point. Frankie Lindor's been great. So the pitching staff has been able to piece things together. It's been nice.
I agree. The Mets should be pleased. It should be more about the Yankees and the Mets being at the top of their game on either side. This is a big rivalry without the add-on of Soto. I think Soto's a fun add-on, but that is it. He is not the story. He is not the focal point. It is the Mets versus the Yankees. That is going to be some Subway Series action this weekend. We got to get into some Knicks Celtics. We got Evan Cohen joining us at 4:40, and we got to get into what transpired last night between the Thunder and the Nuggets. Taking the time out here, Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
Hi, this is Scott Smith of Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather, Florida Injury Lawyers. I have said it many times before, and I will continue to say it for many years to come. There is never a good time for a car accident to occur. And most certainly, never ever a good time to suffer injuries in any type of an accident. The accident and its overall aftermath will usually cause pain, difficulty, and stress. Florida law allows accident victims to recover compensation for such losses, injuries, and damages. But such recovery is often not obtained easily and can require a lengthy fight with an insurance company. If you've been injured in an accident, call us now. Don't delay. The initial consultation is completely free of charge. The sooner you call us, the sooner we can put our experienced legal team to work for you. Don't hesitate or pause for another minute. Our experience, knowledge, and resources could be working for you just minutes after the call. If you've been injured, the lawyers at Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather will help. Call us at 500-HELP, 500-HELP. With Smith, Ball, Baez, and Prather, help is just a phone call away. Offices Palm Beach Gardens, Boca Raton, and Port St. Lucie.
Introducing DQ Grill & Chill's new sauced and tossed buffalo chicken strips. A basket of 100% all-white meat seasoned chicken strips now being served with blue cheese or ranch dressing dips. The blizzard of the month is s'mores and mixing bowl mashup. Fresh cookie dough bites and brownie batter for a unique sweet treat. Don't forget a DQ Grill & Chill cake this season. Stop in and pick one up or get a custom order. DQ Grill & Chill with 2 locations, 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1 just south of North Lake.
What would you do with an extra $700? You can earn up to $700 per year with Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Boost Checking pays 7.0 annual percentage yield on balances up to $10,000. That's up to $700 extra to do what you love. Boost Checking from Flagler Credit Union. Requirements apply to earn the highest dividend rates. Limit 1 checking account per membership. Dividend rates and annual percentage yield subject to change. Business accounts do not qualify. Insured by NCUA, proud partner of Florida Atlantic University Athletics.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining Built Ford tough and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough. Based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Accident, truck accident, suffered a slip and fall. My friends Mark Anajar and Glenn Levine at Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys are the type to fight for you. They don't charge you unless you win. They work tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation that you deserve. Call it like we see it. They're the best in the business for a reason. Don't settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar and Levine today, because all it takes is one phone call to take back control of your life. Don't wait. Call for that free consultation now. That's 1-800-747-FREE. 1-800-747-3733. Take back control now with Anajar and Levine. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo with you. Christian Cat back at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. We are outdoors at Park Vista High School for some high school football jamboree action. We got high school game day live on site with a couple of coaches with myself. So stay tuned for that. A couple of our friend of programs might join in then. But we also got the PGA Championship second round underway right now, and Christian Cat, our producer, has got us all set with a scoreboard update, don't we?
Yeah, I've been watching golf all day. Guilty as charged. I've been on my couch watching golf all day long. And we still have a leader, same leader from yesterday, the Venezuelan. Jonathan Vegas leads the pack. He's been in the clubhouse for about an hour and a half now. Vegas at 8 under. He was at 10 under rolling into his final hole today, then double bogeyed it. Gave the rest of the field a little bit more hope going into the weekend. It is a two-way tie for a second between Matthew Pavon at 6 under as well as Alex Smalley. They are 2 shots off the lead. Smalley is still on the course. He's only through 12 holes. Max Homa had probably the best round of the day so far, 7 under. He was 6 under on his front 9. Max Homa lighting it up. Matt Fitzpatrick at 5 under alongside Max Homa tied for 5th. You scroll and look for some more notables. Scotty Scheffler, he's only through 9 holes, and he is 2 under on the day, 4 under on the tournament, tied for 8th. Bryson DeChambeau, he's in the clubhouse, 3 under on the round, 3 under on the tournament, at tied for 14th. And that was your leaderboard update, brought to you by Pain Care Florida. At Pain Care Florida, their specialists use state-of-the-art procedures to relieve pain and get you moving. Pain Care Florida, stop hurting, start living today. This leaderboard update is also brought to you by the Breakers Palm Beach, Kaiser University, and PGA Golf Club.
Wonderful. Christian Cat, Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo. The OKC Thunder dropped Game 6, and now there is going to be a Game 7. Best 2 words in sports, Game 7 between the OKC Thunder and the Denver Nuggets. 119-107 was the final score last night. Denver, a little bit more firepower. That series is only defined as whether the side characters, the side actions, or I should say the Michael Porters of the world, or the Jamal Murrays of the world, or Christian Browns of the world, if 2 of them show up, Nuggets are as good a chance as any to beat the Thunder head-to-head in any game. But if they don't show up and they can't throw a ball in the ocean from the beach, then that's where they get killed. It sounds simple, but it really is the difference of 1 or 2 role players that are able to kind of carry a bit of load away from Jokic, and then they're in the game. That's it. That's the bottom line. If they are hitting their shots, if Christian Brown is hitting his shots, and if Jamal Murray can hit a couple shots, they're right in the mix there. And I think they'll beat the Thunder on Sunday.
Jalen Williams and Lou Dort were terrible in the game. Dort, decent enough defensively, but at the same time, you let Christian Brown go for 23 points. Listen, if Christian Brown, to your point, is going to score 23 points, they're going to win the championship. So I don't expect that to continue in Oklahoma City, but this is an experience.
Got a good postseason, yeah.
We've been saying all postseason long that this Denver group is experienced. Are they without a true head coach? Do they have an interim head coach? Yes. But I think the Joker, Jamal Murray, and Aaron Gordon, I know Gordon kind of had a tough game, 5 points, but I think those three are the guys you look at that team and go, all right, they're the leaders of the team. We're going to rally behind them. And I think you saw that last night at home, too. I like those jerseys, by the way. Quick side note. I like those, 2,800 and it's how many miles?
5280.
Yeah, it's how many miles Denver is up from the sea. I really like those jerseys. Back to the point. I don't know if they're going to have what it takes in Game 7 in Oklahoma City. I thought Gilgeous-Alexander was brilliant in the game. I thought him and Chet Holmgren were great. I thought the others failed them. We'll see. That place is going to be rocking in Oklahoma City. I still lean Oklahoma City in Game 7. Maybe it's foolish. Maybe I'm the one who needs to realize that Denver in a Game 7, an experienced group, is probably dangerous. But I'm going to go with the team that's kind of been the best team all season long. I'm going to continue to do it with Oklahoma City.
It's the battle of the second and third. The theme of that series has been the battle of the second and third option. And if the Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgrens can consistently show up, OKC has a very good chance at winning. And if it's the other side, if the Michael Porters, the Jamal Murrays, Aaron Gordon, if two of those players can show up on Denver's side, then they win the game. It has been that type of series. The one thing I'll say about Denver is Denver wins the important game. They did it in the Clippers series. They know what game they almost have to win, and they'll win it. So that tells me that they're going to be a very dangerous out. Doesn't matter if it's in Oklahoma City, because they did it against the Clippers too. They won that crucial Game 4 on the game winner, and it changed the series with Aaron Gordon on the putback against the Clippers, where they in danger of falling down 3-1. They tied it up at 2-2. Then all of a sudden they had a Game 5 at home in the first round. They have to win that game. That is a must-win game, especially tied at 2-2. You don't want to be down 3-2 going back to their building, and they won that game.
Yeah.
And they won Game 7. They win the important game. They did it again in the OKC game. They got to steal one in Oklahoma City, and they got to win the first one at home. That's exactly what they did. They won Game 3, and they won Game 1. And the other two, they kind of rolled over it and died. Game 4, they couldn't hit anything. And then Game 2 is when they got destroyed by 50 points. So Denver understands, and they didn't win Game 5 that series, but they didn't have Game 5 at home. They had Game 6 at home. So they won the important game there. Denver understands the important game in a series. And It sounds weird. Maybe this is a media thing that I'm running away with, but the important game in a series is understanding that you got to be either tied or up a game, going back with something advantageous. Game 7, advantage Denver, in my opinion.
Even on Oklahoma City's home court, it's fascinating to think about. I still lean Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder. They're the deep team. I don't expect Jalen Williams to go 3 of 16. They could go 5. They played a lot of guys on their bench last night too. I mean, Caruso played 27 million. 27 million.
Well, Gilgeous-Alexander got in foul trouble at the end of the first half.
Casey Wallace played 27 minutes as well. I've been saying this all postseason long with teams like the Knicks and even the Denver Nuggets. The Joker played 40. Murray played 42. Is there a point where these guys are going to run out of gas at any point? That's why the Celtics are able to push it to Game 7. I wonder if the Knicks are going to have enough legs to keep going with all their players. So I lean Oklahoma City because they have more depth. They're younger. I think the star and Gilgeous-Alexander will step up at home. He's been great all series long. Now, we could sit here and say that the Joker and Gilgeous-Alexander kind of even each other out. I'll listen to that. But I'm banking on the Oklahoma City Thunder role players having a better game at home than Denver comparatively.
And it's all about closing a game. Each side has had their own little chance at closing a game. Game 4, that was the OKC Thunder, really being able to close a game late. Did that in Game 5 as well, but also in Game 1. That was all the Denver Nuggets being able to close a game. And you saw last night, they've had opportunities either side at closing a game, which is basically paramount if you want to win in the postseason, is understanding how to get back into a game or how to win a game when you're already ahead. And both sides have shown that. My perspective is if I'm Jokic, I need 20 points out of 2 role players, and then we're in the game. That's what I need. I need 21 points out of Christian Brown, and I need 20-something points out of Jamal Murray, and then I'm in the game. If I get an 11 points from Michael Porter and 8 points from Aaron Gordon and 17 points from Jamal Murray, we're in a lot of trouble. Because Jokic is going to do what Jokic does. And I give the Nuggets credit. I want to shift me to the next point. If the Nuggets are able to win this series, that's 14 games they played in the postseason thus far, 2 Game 7 series, and in games where they were on the outside looking in for a decent portion of both. Does it say anything about the importance and really the power dynamic where a coach lies amongst the team if Denver is able to figure this out.
This Denver team isn't helping, I think, NBA head coaches right now.
No, right.
It's not doing NBA head coaches any favors right now, because when you have the best player in the league, and I understand Gilgeous-Alexander and the MVP, whatever, but Joker's the best player in the league. Let's be honest with ourselves. When you have that, that's a big factor. And I go back to even LeBron-led teams. I think the only coach that you could write home about with Bron was Eric Spoelstra. And I love Tyronn Lue. I thought when Lue came in, he understood what he had to do. Spoelstra was the only X's and O's coach I think LeBron ever played with. But it's that same factor. When you have the best player on the planet, you're able to do a lot of things. And I think it's bad business for head coaches around the NBA right now to see that Denver team. And I like the point you brought up. How about that? Denver, a team that, in my opinion, I kind of wrote off before the end of the year because they fired their head coach 5 games left of the regular season. Comparatively with Oklahoma City, if they lose this series, Oklahoma City, this is a tremendous failure. Denver's playing with house money in that sense. Denver doesn't have a head coach. No one expected them to be here. No one expected them to be in the series against Oklahoma City. There are a lot of people saying that Denver wasn't going to win another game when Oklahoma City.
Taking them to 7 is a success in itself.
And that's why, and maybe you're onto something with advantage Denver in this game, because they're playing with house money. All the pressure is on Oklahoma City at home at this point because no one expected the Nuggets to be in this point right now.
And if you're in other coaches, think about this. They got rid of Mike Malone and Calvin Booth, their general manager. Mike Malone was their head coach in Game 79. So with 3 games remaining, that was 17 games ago, essentially, 16 games ago. And they just rolled out David Abelman. And I'm not saying Abelman does nothing, but I look out the court and it's close. And
they play pick and roll, ISO.
He doesn't have a lot to say. Let's just put it that way.
Kyle, it's Jamal Murray, go get a shot.
He doesn't have a lot to say.
All right, Joker, go give Jamal a screen. All right, let's give it to the Joker down low. That's the offense.
Just dribble handoffs. But point being is it just goes to show that almost for a head coach, especially in the NBA, it is more about, and we talked about this a little bit, but I think it's being reinforced. It depends on the coach, yes. It depends on the situation, yes. But it's more about the head coach's relationship with the best players on the team than it is his ability to coach and win a game. It is more about how he sits amongst the power dynamic and amongst the relationship building amongst the players comparatively to whether he is the smartest basketball mind in the room or not. Because I'd make an argument that Jokic is probably the smartest basketball room in the Denver Nuggets locker room, but it's all about whether this guy can manage a game in terms of substitutions, understand maybe I got to go this guy versus that, Julian Strather, who came off the bench for them late and made a couple plays. That's the type of thing that Abelman makes. But ultimately, the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 of it all, it just goes to show that, getting rid of a coach 3 games left, it's not necessarily a death sentence, and we thought it would be.
Yep.
And I think it's just putting a testament to the fact that the NBA head coach, the status of that power takes a bit of a knock here.
Well, do they just roll with Abelman next year? If I'm pronouncing that right?
Yeah, they'd have to.
If they go to a Western Conference Finals.
But the thing is, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter because it's all about what coach will resonate with Jokic. It wouldn't even matter about the playoff success. That wouldn't even matter.
Am I foolish to say whoever wins this series is going to go to the finals? I'm down on Minnesota.
Oh, really?
I'm down on Minnesota.
Why?
I don't think they played well against a Steph Curry-less team.
They beat him in 5.
I think if Steph Curry plays in that series, the Warriors might have won in 6
Hold on.
games.
We can't do the if.
I know you hate it. I know you hate it.
The Warriors were the beneficiary of this, and now the Warriors get hurt by this.
You got to understand. These were 3-point games without Steph Curry. These were single-digit games.
Towards the end of the series, they beat them down. I agree. Game 2 was like that, and Game 3 had its moments. But for me, they played better throughout the series.
It was such a deflating. I think that was such a deflating thing to happen for Curry to get hurt in that series. That series had all of the potential to be one of the juicier matchups. I mean, Anthony Edwards went like 0 for 11 from 3.
But they played better. They played much better towards the end of the series. They're trending upwards.
Steph played like 17 minutes and had like 20 points in the game. So like, I don't know.
The thing about Minnesota that's great is they got a good 1 through 5. They have a lot of guys who could attack you in different ways.
Well, Naz Reid is great, too.
Well, he's off the bench, but they got Conley there, who's sort of that point general. They got Edwards, who's their superstar. They got Jaden McDaniels, who is their best defender on the floor, can hit a 3 when need to. He's a great athlete, will give you 44 minutes. And they got Julius Randle and Gobert, one a defensive specialist, and one who does a lot for them offensively. Julius Randle is really taking a step. it's because I think the T-Wolves are very good at playing it big. They're very good at that 4 position and getting them involved offensively. Yes, Julius Randle's a good player, but Randle is playing better now than he ever did for the Knicks in the postseason. And Karl-Anthony Towns played better in a lot of ways at points for the T-Wolves than he ever did for the Knicks. I think it's because the T-Wolves and Chris Finch, especially with Gobert sitting next to you, they know how to get a guy involved offensively. I'm surprised you're down on the Wolves because I think they play down to their opponent, yes, and they definitely showed that at the beginning part of the series. But once they had a little bit of pressure, and especially Edwards had that god-awful first half, what was that, in Game 3?
Yep.
And they turned it up in the second half. Ever since then, I think they've been a different team. It's all about momentum. I think they'll be dangerous.
We've seen Minnesota be able to pull it out last year in the playoffs in spots where you think that they're absolutely dead. Now, they blew it to the Mavericks, but Edwards stepped up in big spots. I think it's going to be imperative for Anthony Edwards to play well and get things going against a team maybe like Oklahoma City and an NBA champion in the Denver Nuggets.
Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, live from Park Vista High School. Some football jamboree action. We're going to talk to Evan Cohen, the host of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio, 6 to 10 Eastern, the namesake of the ESPN West Palm studios. We'll do that on the flip side of things. Stick around for it. A little more NBA action coming up on Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
I'm Ellie Anajar of Anajar & Levine. Injured in a car crash? Never rush to settle with insurance companies and never settle for just any attorney. Demand Anajar & Levine. Our experienced legal team will fight to win you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call me, Ellie Anajar, for a free consultation and take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach.
Get this. Joey and me were supposed to go to this concert next week, right? But then something terrible happened. Joey was driving without a seatbelt. But he didn't wreck. No, he got pulled over. Now Joey has to pay for a seatbelt ticket instead of a concert ticket, and I have to go by myself. How lame is that? So Joey, if you're out there, you're an idiot. Wear your seatbelt or you'll get a ticket.
All across the country, cops are cracking down. Click it or ticket, day and night.
Funded by the Florida Department of Transportation.
It's time to make your yard the best on the block with Memorial Day savings at the Home Depot. Start by keeping the weeds at bay with Vigoro mulch, now 4 for $10. Then keep your garden thriving with Miracle-Gro garden soil, now on special buy, 4 for $10. Give your neighbors yard envy all summer long with Memorial Day savings going on now at the Home Depot.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ, J-O-E-Q, to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
ESPN 106.3 is your home for live sports presented by Hard Rock Bet. Home of the Miami Heat, now the new home of Inter Miami. Catch all the games and the biggest matchups throughout the week right here on ESPN 106.3. Hard Rock Bet, it's Florida's official sports book. Try Hard Rock Bet now and receive up to $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not win. Hard Rock Bet, roll with us. It's offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida the wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about gambling? Call 1-888-ADMIT-IT.
Want to accelerate your career as a manager or executive in the exciting industry of sports? Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program is ranked #1 in Florida and 10th in the world. Students learn practical and applied skills from top faculty and experts who work in the industry. With a 94% placement rate for all grads, the full-time MBA program sets students up for success in the world of sports. Check out Florida Atlantic University's MBA in Sport Management program today by going to business.fau.edu.
I'm only human, y'all. I'm only human, y'all. I'm only human.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
You know, the best part about getting to the end of a good playoff series is these games are very important, but also taking the spreads, taking the overs, taking the unders is a lot more fun. Sprinkle some action on these Game 6, Game 7 actions that you're going to have over the weekend, the PGA Championship, as well as Subway Series on the MLB side of things. You got can the Florida Panthers take down the Toronto Maple Leafs once and for all, win 4 straight? Remains to seen, but go download the Hard Rock Bet app on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store, or go to hardrock.bet online to get started. And the best part is, even if you're brand new to a sports book, the Hard Rock Bet app interface, it's more catered to somebody who doesn't necessarily know how to navigate a sports book. But on the other side of things, if you're really experienced with a sports book, you can also put together a really complicated parlay, utilize promos, go to Battle of the Bets, go to the Discover page, see what other users put together. You got it. You name it, they got it over on Hard Rock Bet. Best part is you get $100 back in bonus bets if your first bet does not hit. That's Hard Rock Bet, offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida. The wager terms and conditions apply. Considered by gambling. Call 1-888-ADMIT IT. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, live from Park Vista High School. Spring football jamboree, the only place in the country where you have spring tackle football is South Florida. Welcoming in somebody who understands the tackle football scene in this South Florida scene. You can hear him from 6 to 10 a.m. on ESPN Radio. You can hear him on just a smattering of other programs. You could see him on about every ESPN Good Karma Brands related Twitter with reactions to anything. And it is Evan Cohen, of course, joining us now on Russo and Rizzo. First time in a while on this program. Evan, welcome in. How are you?
Glad to be invited on, Colin, in order to join the program. I should be able to just call. But listen, Park Vista, tremendous players. Trey Mason years ago, if I'm not mistaken, at Park Vista was an awesome running back there. Park Vista has had many great players, and it really is. The spring jamborees, what they've done over the course of time. You guys will see the fans that come in. The football is at high level, tremendous. That's a good job by you guys actually being there and not demanding that you're at Game 7 of the NBA Finals because the two of you think you've already won a Marconi. Hello, right. Mike Rizzo. How are you?
Evan, what's going on, partner? Good to hear from you.
All right, can I just make a statement?
Yes.
I don't know what has been said and what hasn't been said.
Okay.
But earlier today, I see it go out on ESPN West Palm's social channels, that there was a 3-point contest between one Mike Rizzo, who thinks he's better than Mike Miller, Shane Battier, and Ray Allen in their prime for the Heat, against our teammate, Lindsay Lowry, who is just tremendous at everything she does. She's one of the all-time great teammates that we have at ESPN West Palm and Good Karma Brands. Not an on-air personality. But Lindsay played D1 college basketball. And so the hype is there. I'm tuning into this earlier today, and I see Rizzo warming up, and I see Rizzo shoot. And I said, Mike Rizzo did a heck of a job. Now, even though Mike Rizzo lost, it is weird to think that someone who did not participate in a 3-point contest between two people could be the biggest loser of the contest. Let's just cut to the chase. Colin Russo did such a bad job with the play-by-play of this. Mike, you were doing it. I don't know if you've had a chance to watch it back. He got every single thing wrong. You would have taken 5 shots, and he'd be like, Mike Rizzo, 4 for 7. He took 5 shots. He got the scores wrong. He got the locations wrong. At one point at the end, he said, Lindsay Lowry, our winner, 14 of 24. Colin, how could she have 24 when they had 5 locations, 5 shots each? And you know what's embarrassing? Colin and I went to the same college, so I can't even blame his education. What a joke!
Yeah,
hold on.
You got to wear
hold
that.
on a second.
Kyle, hang on, Kyle. You got to wear that.
On the live stream, I went up to the camera after and I said, I got a little confused there with Lindsay Lowry's counting. That's my bad. I'm a college graduate. You're going to have to bear with me. That, I think, was a good job on my part.
There was another thing. You just triggered another thought. I forgot about this. So people can go back, ESPN West Palm social channels, at ESPN West Palm on YouTube. It is well worth watching. 16 minutes. It's supposed to be competitive. You'll laugh. And you're not going to laugh from the shooting. You're going to laugh from the announcer, who sucks, okay? Who co-hosts Afternoon Drive in a top 50 market, and he stinks. But so this is the other thing. Mike, I don't know if you saw this. Colin tried to you know what? Say what you want about you two. Colin Russo had your back. He tried to cheat for you, Mike. He tried to move Lindsay to the next rack of basketballs before she actually finished 5.
Before she was done, man. And she made the one when she came back. Yeah, she got an extra one when she came back. That's the worst part. You know, she was 4 for 9, and I said she was 4 for 10, and then everybody corrected me.
I see. So, Evan.
He tried to cheat for you. He did try to cheat for you. Your partner had your back on this.
I appreciate it, Colin. And, Evan, that was, I don't know if you heard about the recent basketball drama where I basically said I'd beat anyone in the office one-on-one. Theo took me up on it. I beat Theo. And then Stephanie, our general manager, goes, well, Riz, no chance you'd be able to beat Lindsay in a three-point contest. And I'm like, Hold on,
I'll chime in here. Mike was like, I would beat her. So Mike was very adamant in the fact that he would win.
Here's the issue. Colin's lying through his teeth. Evan, I didn't really want to go off, face off against a girl. Number one, Lindsay played college basketball, so I know I'd probably lose in the first place. But it's like a lose-lose, partner. Like if you beat a girl, it's like, oh God. If you lose against a girl, I feel like it's like that a little bit.
Stop. Let's not make this about gender. Irrelevant. Lindsay Lowry is a phenomenal basketball player.
Absolutely,
that's what she is. What your mistake was even thinking that you could take her on, because there are people in life, Colin wouldn't be one of them, that are just good at everything. Lindsay Lowry is one of those people good at everything. You don't take those people. Stephanie Prince, who you just referenced, don't take her on in any athletic competition. She's crazy. She is crazy.
Hang on, Colin, you need to have my back here. I said I would beat her. Hold on.
But hang on, Evan. Man, I tried my best.
Hang on, Evan. I did not want to do. And all honesty, I did not want to do this. But Stephanie was so happy when she found out that this was a possible thing she was setting up. I couldn't say no. I was in a position where I couldn't say no. You could agree with me.
You performed well, Mike. In all seriousness, you performed well. Listen to me. You performed well. You actually hung, and you did a good job. And somehow you lost the competition, but weren't the biggest loser, because Colin was so bad at his part of this that even Colin at the end apologized to the audience.
You were that bad.
No,
so Evan, it was
that bad.
Evan, to be honest,
a little hyperbolic.
Evan,
it was bad during Lindsay.
So Evan,
it was not bad during you or Lucas.
Evan, I need to go back and watch the film, because you know how it is. When you're in the heat of competition, you're not really paying attention. And then when Lindsay was going, it's like one of those things where, I can't watch. You know what I mean?
The funniest part is when Lindsay got to the 20s, I was getting all confused on how many makes versus misses she has, and I'm talking to myself. I'm like, what does she have, 22, something like that?
Oh, God. And then the more impressive part, Evan, she used a men's ball and still beat my butt. She used a men's ball the whole time. She goes, wait a minute, I used a guy's ball? I'm like, oh, God, dude.
You guys have to understand, you don't take on people in life, in any walk of life, that are great at everything. I don't care how old, I don't care gender, it doesn't matter. If you're going up, and you want to compete for business with someone, and you're like, oh, my God, she's unbelievable at everything, just quit. Just, Colin versus a microphone. The microphone's better than Colin. Just walk away, Colin. Let somebody else do it.
I did a halfway decent job on the post-game interviews, that I will say, and I will not take anything outside of that, because I asked Mike about him going from NBA range for no reason in spot number 4. I asked Lindsay about starting 0 for 4.
Can I defend Evan? Can I defend myself there? I'm not even kidding.
Hold on.
Okay.
Just defer, both of you, for 1 second. All right. Let me handle this for a second. There was a part of this that was fascinating. And Colin, this is the only part of the broadcast where Colin did a good job. And to Mike's credit, he did a really good job with this also. So if you think about, ladies and gentlemen, listening and watching to ESPN West Palm, think about if you're watching a regular three-point contest, right? The player, whether it's NBA, WNBA, college, pro, it doesn't matter. The player lines up next to the rack of basketballs, and they shoot from right there. You never see someone take 4 steps back. For some reason, Mike Rizzo, elbow extended on the left side, takes like 4 steps back. He's almost out of bounds. The only good broadcasting moment Colin Russo had was the stunning moment of, Mike, what are you doing? And then Mike is draining shot after shot. I thought that was fascinating. I've never seen, the Heat, historically, whether it's Tyler Hero, Jason Capono, Daquan Cook, Mike Miller, they've had all these insane three-point shooters. I've never seen any of them do what Mike Rizzo did today. Why did you do that?
Evan, believe it or not, I shoot better farther out. I'm dead serious when I say that. I'm a better shooter from like NBA range and out there. My coach Lynch. I don't know how much you watch.
You mentioned Coach Lynch about 7 or 8 times during that broadcast.
I don't know how much you watch it.
Florida, embrace it. Who cares about Coach Lynch? Enough.
Rest in peace. Hang on, Evan.
Coach Lynch.
Evan, first off, rest in peace to my high school basketball coach, Coach Lynch. He used to joke around with me. No, it's okay. It's Evan. It's okay. But he used to joke around.
Nice job, Evan.
He used to joke around with me and say, Riz. He goes, Riz. Yeah, it's okay. Rest in peace, Coach Lynch. He goes, Riz, you were the only basketball player I ever coached. He goes, you were the only basketball player I've ever coached where your field goal percentage significantly increases the farther you are on a three-pointer. So I heard him in my head. And I drained the next two from NBA range. So
you did. You did do a good job with that.
That was your late coach talking to you.
That was my late coach. I needed to get the double digits. So Evan, I put the number 12 in my head. I was trying to reach 12. I didn't get there. I was able to shoot 40%. But Ev, the rack that screwed me was the right wing. And you want to know the saddest part? That was my sweet spot. When I was growing up playing, and that was my sweet spot.
All right. What's up, Evan?
It's interesting, guys. It's interesting. I once talked to Coach Lynch. No. So Colin said he did a good job with the post-game interview. He's patting himself on the back. Yeah, I would argue that because you went to go talk to Mike post-game. Again, people can watch this on the ESPN West Palm YouTube, all across social. CCAT, tweet this out like crazy because it's this funny. Somehow this was a serious competition that became so funny. So Colin thinks he's great at the post-game interview. He goes up to talk to Mike. Mike walks away from him. He has to then trail him because Mike wants to talk about this right wing spot with Coach Lynch, who died, unbeknownst to me. I think he died. Colin Russo do this broadcast. He's like, I gotta go. This is terrible.
Ev, wasn't that my moment though? I wanted to show everyone where I screwed up. You know.
How many again? Post-game interview where the sideline reporter is interviewing a player that's not on camera.
We're breaking down Coach Lynch, speaking to Mike Rizzo in spot number 4, asking you, what the hell are you doing? That was my do you believe in miracles moment, Al Michaels.
That was fun.
That was
I'll tell you what, I'm happy Stephanie set that up, her general manager, Steffi Pritz. I'm happy she set that up. That was fun. And Ev, I was worried about all that other stuff, but in the end of the day, everyone had a great time.
Oh, here's the modesty card. Here's the modesty. We were happy we competed card.
Evan, Coach Lynch would have been proud.
All right. Well, all jokes aside, honest to God, it was a great team outing today. It really was.
Mike Rizzo, Colin Russo, Evan Cohen, host of Sportsroom like 6 to 10 a.m. on ESPN Radio, joining us now. Evan, let's get into a little sports things really quick. We got a Game 7 coming up on Sunday. Thunder and Nuggets has been a very interesting series. I want to get your thoughts on that. I want to get your thoughts on the Knicks tonight, too. Number one, let's start with that Nuggets Thunder series. I'm under the impression that Denver is in an advantageous position being in a Game 7 because all the pressure is on Oklahoma City here to close it out. Denver, Mike put it great. They're playing with house money. They have no coach after 17 games. What is your perspective on how we're going to see the ending of that Thunder Nuggets series?
Yeah, I think that's a fair point in terms of it's weird to say that a player in his prime that's an all-time great like Jokic is playing with house money. But in a way, he is. But I don't look at it as much maybe house money as you guys do, because I think, I don't know why this keeps popping up this week for me in my head. I've gone back to Marino a bunch. Don't take advantage. Don't take for granted. The times that you're there, assuming it's going to happen again. In other words, we could sit here and say, Jokic house money fired the coach and the GM. He'll be right back there. We sure? We sure about that? He has I'll have another shot. Are we sure? Because Jokic is the kind of player that I look at and say, at any given moment, I could see him retiring, walking away, going back to Serbia to play with the horses. Wouldn't surprise me one bit. I do think Oklahoma City has to win. I agree with you on that. More so than Denver. I just don't think it's like full house money. And in terms of the Knicks, I think they're going to win tonight, but I go back to a couple of years ago. Remember when the Heat were up 3-0 on the Celtics? Celtics win the next 3 games. This is with Tatum. Miami goes to Boston, Game 7. Everyone thinks it's going to be the greatest collapse ever, and they win. So I assume the Knicks will win tonight, but I'm telling you right now, my belief is Knicks are going to win 1 of 2. I think people will be too quick to write them off for a Game 7 if it goes back to Boston. I just think the Knicks are going to pull this off tonight. If not, I assume in a Game 7.
Evan, what's the biggest storyline left in the playoffs with these teams right now?
I think it's probably I guess it depends on if the Knicks are in. It's probably going to be Ant is what it's going to amount to be because everyone's looking for that next great face of the league. He said, I don't want to be it. If the young man wins a championship, it's going to be his. He feels very Wade-like to me, right? I mean, if you look at Wade in the early portion of his career and how he got to the title, this kind of feels a little bit Wade. I will not even entertain the Jordan comparison. It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. But I think that it's probably going to end up being Anthony Edwards. But I do think this is what I love about the NBA. The non-on-court stuff is juicy right now with Giannis and KD, et cetera. But I think it's going to be Ant is what the storyline is right now.
Evan, we talked about it a little earlier in the week. The NBA's had a big week in terms of you said it, the off-court stories. The draft lottery was a big story with the Dallas Mavericks getting the number 1 overall pick. They got Giannis, who hasn't necessarily made a declaration that he wants to leave, but the assumption is that fact. Kevin Durant, sort of in the same boat, hasn't made a declaration in any sense, but everybody's sort of eyes are pointing that he's looking elsewhere. If you had to put it on one of the two big stars there, if one were to be moved, do you think that there is one that is more likely than other? And if you had to choose one that was going to move between Durant and Giannis, who would that be to you?
Oh, I think that's the easiest question that anyone could ask right now. It's easily Kevin Durant. Easily. I would be stunned if Durant wasn't moved, and I still would be surprised. I'm not going to go stunned. I'd be very surprised, I should say, if Giannis is moved. I still think we are ways away from Giannis actually asking out. I would be stunned if Kevin Durant was on the Suns next year. And I'll give you one thing, guys. I'd be stunned if the Heat weren't front and center for Durant.
And Evan, that's where I was going next. What'd you make of Pat Riley's postseason press conference?
I liked it. I liked it. I mean, is he Coach Lynch? No. But Pat Riley, I thought he was great in just being direct, honest, to the point. The only thing that surprised me, and I still need to understand why Coach Spoelstra's personal life was put out there. That seems like an odd thing to just say, Spoel's going through all the personal issues. Well, I mean, we know that as like media people that are around other people that know things. Average everyday fans that Russo and Rizzo and theoretically speaking are speaking to every day, well, they don't know that, nor should they. Well, now they're going to ask, well, what's going on with Spo? And, we're not going to answer those questions because somebody else's personal life is not ours to share. So that was the only thing that was weird. I just think I think it's going to be Durant. I'm not saying they're getting Durant. I'm saying the realistic target seems like Durant.
Evan, we know you're a South Florida guy. You've spent your heyday really at ESPN West Palm. Are you one of those Florida fans that really hopped on the bandwagon? Did you even know the Florida Panthers existed before they started getting good here in the last couple of years? Or did you, when they were winning 20 games a year, did you follow the pulse of the team?
Yeah, I think what the Panthers have done over the course of time is they have looked around, specifically at media members that they think have a future, and they've given them press passes to walk in that building and cover that team. So I think that, they were always good to me in giving me those passes. Obviously, they must have seen something in me.
Regular season in December, they'll give you as many credentials as you need, but you never had an opportunity to hop into a Game 4.
I mean, when the Rats were there, they wanted me there. I was 15 living in New York, but they wanted me there. No, I had some of the worst interviews of my life with players I never heard of that I couldn't even pronounce on the air, and I was terrible. We did a weekly Panther show. Oh, my God, was I bad. Good for them that they're that good. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon at all, but good for them that they're good.
Now, Evan, I went back in the archives, and I looked at the ESPN West Palm YouTube interview of you and Tim Tebow sitting in some beautiful gazebo down here in Florida. Where was that interview? It looked like you were in a paradise.
That's what South Florida is, Mike. Embrace it. Talk about it. No one cares about Ohio. That was at PGA National Resort and Spa, I believe.
Hang on. Evan, what was the shot for there, part? I set you up. I set you up for a nice thing there.
No, good. You're
gonna shoot me down for being from Ohio there? Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
Fair enough.
Wait a minute. No, hold on a second. We have some news.
Okay.
We have some news. Adam Schefter, ESPN sources, 49ers and quarterback Brock Purdy are finalizing a 5-year, $265 million contract. 5 for 265 for Brock Purdy.
I'm not the type. I'm not. Go ahead.
Let's see if your intelligence can bounce back. You've had a terrible day. How much per year is that?
That's 53, right? 53, right? 50. Yeah,
Guess
53.
what? Yeah. I'm going to tell you something. You know what's interesting about that deal? $181 million guaranteed. That's lower than he would have gotten if he was on the open market as a true free agent.
I don't
think about that for a second.
Well, this is a guy who was also getting paid. He was getting paid, $142,000 to play quarterback for the 49ers. I think he wanted to stay there, and they were going to give him that shot. I don't think he should have exercised the open market because I don't think it would have benefited the 49ers. I don't think it would have benefited him.
No. 100% correct. Let me rephrase it. I didn't put it properly to you. What I'm saying is the initial reaction from a lot of people are going to be, oh, my God, he's so overpaid. He needs all these guys around him. My point is $53 million a year for a guy that when he's right and his team is right is a top 10 quarterback in the league who's already been to a Super Bowl and another NFC title game and probably could have gotten to another Super Bowl if they didn't get hurt in that game. That $53 million a year is actually below, I think, the value he would have gotten if you put him on an open market as an unrestricted free agent. The Giants would have given him more. The Steelers would have given him more. And I think that's something, Schefter just put this out there. So Dak, 60, Burrow, 55, Allen, 55, Love, 55, Lawrence, Colin, 55, Tua, 53.1, Brock Purdy, 53, Goff, 53. Do not tell me that Dolphins fans and Mike McDaniel specifically would not take Brock Purdy over Tua in 2 seconds, and Tua makes more.
Yep. And yesterday we even had this conversation, and I'm not the one to take a victory lap, but I did say when he gets that $250 million over 5 with 160 to 180 guaranteed. I literally said that yesterday. But you're right, this is a bargain. Because what if he goes out there on a prove-it year and he plays great? Then all of a sudden that price tag goes from 53 to 75. And all of a sudden he's going to be resetting that cap. Or if he stinks, then you're going to have to figure out a quarterback when your whole aging roster, and then you're going to be playing the whole game again. I think this is a dynamite move by San Francisco. I think this is a no-brainer, and I think this will be a bargain in 2 years' time.
And Evan, the Niners tend to figure things out with their own. Now, I know Deebo Samuel got traded, but he got a contract. They took care of him. They took care of Ayuk. They took care of Bosa. They take care of Purdy. If you're granted, you got to be good, but the Niners tend to take care of their own in that sense. So listen, comparatively to what quarterback hell they could go into without having a quarterback, what a lot of these teams have done in the NFL has been in quarterback purgatory. I think it's smart to avoid that, Evan.
Evan, we appreciate it. We got to run here, top of the hour. You know how it goes on radio. We appreciate you jumping on. Second time or third time, I guess you and I have spoken this week. That's a new record, it looks like. But
wait a minute, what are the other two?
We'll talk in about 2026, 2027. What do you say?
I'll take 28. All right, Coach Lynch.
28 it is. Evan Cohen, of course, the host of Unsportsmanlike on ESPN Radio. Appreciate you joining us. The fun fact, the studio at ESPN West Palm is named after Evan Cohen. For what reason, I don't know why. He never spent 1 second in that studio doing actual local radio, but what?
Was the Coach Lynch thing that outlandish?
You brought up Coach Lynch about 3 times during that YouTube video of you doing the 3-point contest. So, there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. I just said we heard a lot about Coach Lynch.
Okay, all right.
Coach Lynch was with us.
I guess he's the butt of every joke today.
I don't know.
Right,
we got to take a time out. We'll loop Christian Cat into the conversation. On the flip side, it's Russo Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Anajar and Levine.
Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
ESPN 106.3.
WESP Jupiter, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take the boat out for a spin or go mail something? Boat wins! Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Boat wins! Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing? Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat.
Yeah! With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
This is ESPN 106.3, a Good Karma Brands radio station.
Find official rules for all your favorite ESPN West Palm contests by visiting ESPNWestPalmContests.com. That's ESPNWestPalmContests.com. You're listening to ESPN 106.3, the ESPN app, and streaming on your smart speaker.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com, sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Big news, West Palm Beach! Greenway Kia is rolling out the red carpet for our grand reopening, and you're invited! Right now, drive home in a new 2024 Kia Telluride, luxury, performance, and value, starting at just $38,998. No tariffs, just huge savings! Get incentives up to $11,000 off MSRP on select new Kias. Got a trade-in? We need it! Any make, any model, any condition! We'll give you up to $6,000 over Kelley Blue Book value towards the purchase of any red tag Kia in stock. Worried about credit? Don't be! If you got a job bringing home $350 a week, we want to improve your credit today. So what are you waiting for? Come celebrate our grand reopening at Greenway Kia of West Palm Beach. Call 800-NEW-KIAs or visit GreenwayKiaWestPalmBeach.com.
We want to see ya in a Greenway Kia.
With approval through KFA, stock number SG005991, MSRP $45,235, plus tax tag and $9.99 admin fee. Negative equity refinance. Offers don't combine.
Kaiser University's flagship campus, the 100-acre residential campus at 2600 North Military Trail in West Palm Beach, extends Kaiser University's educational offerings to over 100 degrees within the heart of South Florida. Kaiser University also has an athletic program with 24 national championships, including the 2024 Women's Swimming and Diving Championship and Men's Lacrosse title. Visit KUSeahawks.com for the latest.
Introducing DQ Grill & Chill's new sauced and tossed buffalo chicken strips. A basket of 100% all-white meat seasoned chicken strips now being served with blue cheese or ranch dressing dips. The blizzard of the month is s'mores and mixing bowl mashup. Fresh cookie dough bites and brownie batter for a unique sweet treat. Don't forget a DQ Grill & Chill cake this season. Stop in and pick one up or get a custom order. DQ Grill & Chill with 2 locations, 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1 just south of North Lake.
Business owners, are your employees driving you nuts? Is money tight? Or have you just poured your heart and soul into your business and now it's time to retire and just relax? At Transworld Business Advisors, they have buyers from all over the world ready to buy your business now. Call for a confidential conversation about your business's current value. 561-203-5121. That's 561-203-5121 or visit tworld.com today.
While it's not always possible to see contaminated water coming out of the faucet, the taste is difficult to ignore. And what about plastics and pharmaceuticals now in the water? The team at Culligan is here to help. Culligan offers water testing and reverse osmosis systems designed to filter out those contaminants right at the source. Culligan has been helping the local community with water issues since 1936. Schedule your appointment today at Culligan.com.
Hey, Culligan man!
Now, it's time for a little R&R.
All into the bucket, lays it up and in.
Live in the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios, this is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
This team is going to be tough when they finally get it together.
Sit back and relax. Let Russo and Rizzo take you home.
Oh, mercy! Light him up, Colin!
Second hour, Russo and Rizzo on Friday, May the 16th, 2025, live from Park Vista High School. Some high school football jamboree action. Only in South Florida can you find spring football in May. Tackle, pads, the whole thing, the whole 9 yards, 6 teams here. Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo with you alongside Christian Catt, who is back at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach on ESPN 106.3, also streaming live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter/X at ESPN West Palm. Well, it's getting hot. I mean, if you've noticed this week, if you're in South Florida, getting up into the 90s, staying in the high 80s consistently, it's starting to get into sticky season. The summer hot months are here, and because of that, you need to make sure that your air conditioning and HVAC units are up to date, up to speed, and with the right provider. Almost all AC systems have components that are made overseas and shipped to the U.S. Well, with the tariffs that are coming about on both sides to the U.S. and from the U.S., these price increases are expected to continue to happen, especially on the air conditioning side of things. You got to make sure you stick local, and that is John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Visit CassidyAC.com to get more information. They've been proudly serving Palm Beach County since 1960, keeping homes cool and comfortable. Best part is you call them, you can let one of their highly trained technicians come over to your home, troubleshoot and perform diagnostic checks on your system, and guess what? It doesn't even matter the brand or the age. John C. Cassidy is also part of our local community. They support organizations like the YMCA, the Palm Beach Gardens Youth Athletic Association. That's John C. Cassidy Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Visit CassidyAC.com for more. Christian Catt, our producer, back at the City Play Studios in downtown West Palm Beach. We are in golf major season, and more importantly, we are in PGA championship season. And I'm desperate to hear what's going on. Christian, how about you take it away?
Yeah, fortunately, since I'm not on site with you guys at the Jamboree, I've got a big TV right in front of me, so I'll keep everyone updated on what's going on at Quail Hollow. Jonathan Vegas from Venezuela, he is still your leader. He is in the clubhouse, posted a 1-under round today. He double bogeyed 18 to drop to 8 under. It's a tie for second between Matthew Pavon, Ryan Gerard, and Alex Smalley. They are 2 shots off the lead at 6 under. And then a 3-way tie tied for 5th with Max Homa, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Ryo Hitsatsune at 5 under par. You scroll and you try to find Scotty Scheffler, not too far off. He's 4 shots off the lead, tied for 8th at 4 under. Bryson DeChambeau, he's 5 shots off the lead in the clubhouse at 3 under, tied for 14th. And that was your leaderboard update brought to you by Pain Care Florida. At Pain Care Florida, their specialists use state-of-the-art procedures to relieve pain and get you moving. Pain Care Florida, stop hurting, start living today. This leaderboard update is also brought to you by the Breakers Palm Beach, Kaiser University, and PGA Golf Club.
All right, Christian, how are you today? Everything good? You happy, healthy, focused?
Yeah, I can't complain whatsoever. A little bit of a brain break, with only doing 3 hours today and not 4. So feeling good.
He's feeling good. Christian Catt, let's bounce around a little bit. Let's do a little 5 and 5 presented by Flagler Credit Union.
5 topics.
High five.
5 o'clock.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere. Let's get out of here.
Endless takes.
You can't handle the truth.
All gas, no brakes.
And it's shaking big time.
It's time for the 5 at 5.
Hold on to your butts.
Presented by Flagler Credit Union, proud supporter of FAU athletics. Earn up to $700 per year with boost checking from Flagler Credit Union. Number 1.
Well, you heard it before we entered the top of the hour. Brock Purdy got paid. The San Francisco 49ers are signing quarterback Brock Purdy to a 5-year, $265 million extension, $181 million in total guarantees, according to Tom Pelissero. Is this a fair deal for Brock Purdy?
Christian, I know you disagree, but I think this is going to be viewed as a bargain in the near future. The quarterback price is just going up. The salary cap is just going up. I am always in favor, if the plan is to keep him around, if the plan is you want him there long term, the sooner the better, because the inflation of these contracts is exponential. These guys are going to be making $70 to $75 million yearly before we even know it, even 80. 4 years down the line, this is going to be viewed as a bargain. I am fully on board with Brock Purdy.
It's like comparatively to what? What are the Niners going to do? Roll in there with Josh Dobbs next year? You know what I mean? If they want to move on from Brock Purdy and don't want Brock Purdy at quarterback, you go into the sweepstakes of you don't have a starting quarterback in the NFL. Purdy has proved that he could do well in the Shanahan system. Purdy has proved that he could go to a Super Bowl and be a overtime away from possibly winning a Super Bowl. I think one thing, though, that Christian can maybe write home a little bit about, because Christian not a fan of this deal, One thing I might agree with Christian on, I don't think Shanahan can stomach 12 interceptions again in 15 games. That's not Shanahan football. That's not Kyle Shanahan, head coach of the San Francisco 49er football. They run the ball, they take care of the football, they sit on the football, and they keep the ball away from you. And then they hit you with play action and Purdy. They do not like the turnovers. I think Purdy will adjust next year. People will be healthy. I like this deal.
Yeah, not in a division of world beaters either, to be honest. You should have made the playoffs last year. I don't care about the injuries around the quarterback. The quarterback injury is the injury that you can excuse missing the playoffs. You can use injuries outside the quarterback to fall short in the playoffs, but you still got to make the tournament. That's why I think that we are going to really find out who Brock Purdy is during this contract, because when you pay someone $53 million, there are going to be cuts elsewhere.
I think the NFC West, to what you're alluding to, is probably going to be a little worse this year than they were last year. That's, who knows if Sam Darnold is going to be great, but they made some changes there. I think they took 2 steps back, 1 step forward. And the Los Angeles Rams, who knows how much Stafford has left. That team's always going to be in the mix. There's 10 or so wins, and the Cardinals are the Cardinals. Yep. The division is takeable. That I agree with. Number 2.
Number 2.
Let's stay in the NFL. NFL owners are voting next week on whether or not to change the playoff seeding format. This proposal is to seed teams strictly on their record. No more automatic home games for division winners. Which way should they do it?
I think this is stupid. I think this should be totally denied. If the Vikings are going to be that once in a 10-year period team that is going to get screwed because they won 14 games and they get a road game in the first round, so be it. Yes, there's teams here and there that are second place in their division that have to go on the road. It happens in the NFC North the AFC North all the time. But the point being, the divisions are important for a reason. You play your divisional opponents 6 times over the regular season for a reason. Those games mean more for a reason. They're the first week and the last week for specific reason. That's why if you're going to abolish the divisions, then you should abolish the divisions entirely. If you're going to abolish it just off the point of record, then I don't agree with it. Yeah. I think they should keep the divisions around.
Keep it how it is.
It's not broken.
No, keep it how it is. The NFL playoff system right now, in my opinion, and listen, if you disagree, that's fine. The playoff system, in my opinion, is perfect. I think they do it better than any other sport on this side of the country. So, Christian, my answer is simple. They don't need to change anything.
I don't think the problem is punishing good teams. I think the problem is rewarding bad teams. You're telling me you can be an NFL playoff team and lose more games than you win, and we have had many examples of that happen in recent memory? I think that's a flaw in the system and should be eradicated 100%. And that'll still happen with this.
Yeah. What are we going to write home that the Vikings should have had a home game? If I remember correctly, the LA Rams didn't even have a home game because of the LA Wildfires, and they moved that game to Arizona. So that was a neutral site game for them, and they got destroyed. They were terrible in the game. What, a home game would have changed that? They should not be the reason that we should change this.
And also to Christian, more on that point. It's a great point by you, by the way, because the AFC South, whatever, NFC South might not be the best divisions in football. But at the same time, if you're a great team, you could go and win on a road against a quote-unquote mediocre team. So I understand your point, Christian, that you want to reward the team maybe that's in second place in their division over a terrible team that won their division or mediocre team that won their division. But at the same time, the team who has to go on the road, just play your normal football. You should be able to win. I don't know.
Number 3.
Let's go to baseball. The Subway Series is this weekend. It starts tonight at 7. Tomorrow's game will actually be right here on ESPN 106.3. Sunday night baseball is Mets-Yankees. Is the Subway Series the best crosstown rivalry in all of sports?
Crosstown is interesting.
Yeah.
In the old days, you had the San Franciscos and the Oaklands of the world. But now you don't really have that anymore.
The football side of it, New York. I mean, the Jets and the Giants.
How about let's simplify it a little bit more? Interstate rivalry.
San Francisco Giants and the LA Dodgers have always been a good one and a fun one.
That's fun, Colin.
The Subway Series, it's not played all that often, but that makes some sense. I'm sticking in baseball for the time being.
That's fine. I like Padres and Dodgers.
Padres and Dodgers is another one. Yeah,
especially recently, Colin, with the Padres bouncing them out, 2 years ago?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a fun one. So there's a couple. The Florida teams, I'm thinking the Florida teams in football, Tampa Bay and Jacksonville don't really have much to go against each other. And the Dallas and Houston, doesn't really have anything either.
Rays and Marlins certainly don't.
No. So there's New York that East Coast. That's where it kind of is at. The Pirates and the Philadelphia Phillies don't really. So
I know Evan got on me about Ohio, but listen, Battle of Ohio, Reds and Guardians, that has a lot of history there, but it's not. Guys, it's not New York, New York. It's not the Subway Series.
I didn't say pro sports. I said sports. I think you're neglecting to mention college teams that hate each other.
All right, well, let's go through it.
That opens up a new can of worms. Michigan State, Michigan is one that comes to mind. That's always been a good one. And Florida State, Florida has always been, all the Florida schools for that matter.
USC, UCLA used to have a lot of stuff back in the day. Richard Mendenhall, I fear. Not Mendenhall.
They got rid of it because of the division conference realignment. When you saw Texas A&M, that was awesome at Kyle Field.
And by the way, Maurice Jones-Drew, I was thinking for the Bruins nonetheless. I think it was like Reggie Bush versus Jones-Drew one year.
Bedlam. Gone now.
Oklahoma State is fun. I love that rivalry. Boomer Sooner versus the Cowboys.
Colorado State was excellent for a couple of years there.
Because, you had Coach Prime.
That was awesome. Colorado Springs and Boulder going at it.
But it's a fascinating question because if I had to narrow it down, it would probably be, if I had to go with one, Michigan and Michigan State. I think that rivalry probably is the best one.
Number 4.
The Denver Nuggets kept their season alive last night with a 119-107 win over Oklahoma City. You guys broke down the X's and O's. You guys talked about the game already. What I want to talk about is the uniforms. Wearing the 5,280 feet on their chest with the rainbow accent. Am I the only one, the old man yelling at a cloud, who hates alternative uniforms in the playoffs? I think you got to say that for the regular season, no?
Didn't I say I told you I liked them.
But he's talking about the principle of using them.
I like it.
He's
whatever.
About the principle.
Now the Indiana using their 90s court or whatever. Last Bell. What the hell is that 90s TV show? That was a waste of time, I feel like. But at the same time, Christian, those jerseys are fun, no?
But when you look back, these are history-making moments. The playoffs are when every single second matters,
the
and
NBA
every
is
single
completely out of
second
control.
can something happen.
Okay.
And I feel like when you watch these tapes 10 years from now, you've got to watch for maybe with the volume on for 30 seconds before you realize what you're watching, whereas a still image tells the entire story if you're wearing your normal uniforms that say Thunder, that say Nuggets, that say Denver, or that say Oklahoma City. Is that too much to ask?
I don't disagree with you. I think the NBA is completely out of control with this. Now, from the same perspective, would I be mad if the Jacksonville Jaguars in a playoff game wore their throwbacks? No, I wouldn't be mad. So because of that, I would say that maybe I'm a little both sides here, but I do agree that the NBA maybe takes it a little too far. Now, granted, was I watching that game last night getting all upset that I saw 5,280 instead of the Denver Nuggets? No, but I understand the idea of where you're coming from.
I thought it was cool. I don't know. Maybe I'm completely out of touch with that. I feel like teams use 3 jerseys anyway.
Well, the Cavs won that Game 7 in those sleeved jerseys.
It was awesome. What do you mean, Kyle? It was the legendary black sleeved uniforms where LeBron looked like Batman.
Nothing wrong with that. Number 5.
You're reading my mind, Michael Rizzo, because, this weekend I think start pushing out that new Superman trailer for the new Superman movie coming out this summer. I'll boil it down real simple for you guys. Who is the undisputed best superhero?
Now, Kyle, I got one, but it's Batman because he's human. He doesn't have that supernatural ability.
You're viewing this from an actual person perspective. I'm viewing this from the movies. Who's got the best quality of movies?
Well, for me, then it's not even close. It's Batman with the Christian Bale trilogy. I mean, those are the best 3 superhero movies ever. And I will, outside of Avengers Endgame, when Marvel was really doing their thing before I'm going to call for it. Marvel's terrible now. But before, when Marvel was great with the Russo brothers and company, shout out to Colin, it was fantastic. Endgame was one of the, Endgame and Infinity War were 2 of the best movies I've seen. Take those movies out, Batman has the best movies comparatively.
He's got the
Christian
best
Bale.
movies. I think Spider-Man has good movies too, especially the old
Tobey Maguire
ones. The old
great
Maguire
too.
ones were great.
Yeah.
I have a soft
spare
spot
me
for
with
those.
the Andrew Garfield and the new slush that has come out.
Yeah, like
The new slush that has come out recently.
I think but the thing is, like, they got good. The old Maguire ones were great.
Yeah.
But the Batman movies are undisputedly the best movie. That's how I view it. Who's got the best movies? And it's him.
Christian, can I get way too far into it a little bit? I think the
no.
Fair Play 2.
No.
What is it?
Guardians of the Galaxy is good. Those are great movies.
Yeah, good movies. All right, good movies. Not as bad as
I
thought it
enjoy
was.
those. I enjoy those.
We got to talk to Jonathan Zazzo, the Zazzo Show 2.0, do a little hockey. I was under the impression that the Toronto Maple Leafs would play pretty hard, pretty well in Game 5 in their building. But tonight, they're down 3-2 in Sunrise, Florida, with a chance to push a Game 7 or to lose 4 straight after being up 2-0 and up 2-0 in Game 3. If you're the Toronto Maple Leafs, a collapse incoming, or are we going to see another Game 7 this weekend? We'll talk to Zaslow on the flip side of things right here on Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
The playoffs are heating up, but your home shouldn't. Stay cool with EDS air conditioning. Right now, qualified customers can take advantage of 0% interest for 60 months on a brand new AC. Hot streaks belong in sports, not in your home. With over 800 Google reviews and a 4.8 star rating, EDS is the name you can trust since 2006. Visit EDSIsYes.com today. Game day comfort starts now. Don't sweat the small stuff.
Introducing DQ Grill & Chill's new sauced and tossed buffalo chicken strips. A basket of 100% all-white meat seasoned chicken strips now being served with blue cheese or ranch dressing dips. The blizzard of the month is s'mores and mixing bowl mashup. Fresh cookie dough bites and brownie batter for a unique sweet treat. Don't forget a DQ Grill & Chill cake this season. Stop in and pick one up or get a custom order. DQ Grill & Chill with 2 locations, 4828 Lake Worth Road and US 1 just south of North Lake.
Introducing the bold, the powerful, the all-new 2025 Range Rover Sport P530 Dynamic SE. A luxury SUV that commands attention with its refined design, dynamic performance, and cutting-edge technology. Lease the 2025 Range Rover Sport for just $15.29 per month for 36 months. Drive in style, power, and comfort, all for just $15.29 a month. Visit Land Rover Palm Beach today and take the new Range Rover Sport for a spin. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
So, Good Morning America does a story on Bill Belichick. Awesome. National TV. Big spotlight.
Good morning, George. People who aren't even into football are wondering what's going on.
And when they need a clip from the Disney ESPN family, they pick Theoretically Speaking with Theo and C-Cat.
Jordan is on the field. It's her world, and Bill is just living in it.
Theo and C-Cat? Are you kidding me? We host a national show. I've worshipped Belichick for 2 decades, and they use C-Cat? Congrats, guys. On Sportsmanlike Mornings, Theoretically Speaking, weekdays at 2. Great.
As market dynamics change, the quality and service you receive from your accounting firm shouldn't. Partner-owned since 1923, Anshin Accountants and Advisors take the time to get to know you and your unique circumstances to help resolve complex issues and develop innovative tax and accounting solutions tailored to meet your goals. If you're a high net worth individual or business owner eager for a strategy to maximize tax savings, let Anshin deliver value where others can't. Visit ANCHIN.com. Anshin Accountants and Advisors, recalculating what's possible.
Let's go to the Rapids. Go splash, go wild, go together. With over 40 water slides and family-friendly fun, there's something for everyone. Save big on tickets and season passes this summer when you buy online. Upgrade and get unlimited visits, free parking, and more with a season pass. Experience the all-new Mega Mayhem, Florida's first dueling water coaster. Visit RapidsWaterPark.com to buy now. Rapids, South Florida's largest water park. Let's go!
Hey, it's Tina. Okay, let's be real. When you need tires or a battery, you want someone you can actually trust, right? That's why I go to St. Lucie Battery and Tire. They've been keeping South Florida moving for over 50 years, and they're still family-owned. They've got all the big tire brands, plus batteries for pretty much everything. Their best price out-the-door guarantee means you know you're getting the best deal. So next time your car needs something, don't stress. Just go to St. Lucie Battery and Tire, slbt.com. Trust me, they've got you covered.
Tired of being sidelined by a sports injury? Get back in the game with Baptist Health Orthopedic Care. Whether you're a professional athlete or even a weekend warrior, you can get back to doing what you love with our compassionate orthopedic team. Experience a new level of care and get back to your best. Welcome to being treated like a pro. Make an appointment today at baptisthealth.net/ortho or call 833-556-6764.
Shot, I know you be hearing this and that from here and there, but please trust and believe, little mama. I see you gon' ride for me, so I'ma die for you. Is you with me?
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Russo and Rizzo, ESPN 106.3. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo, live from the Park Vista High School Jamboree. Some spring football action here in South Florida. We got a Game 6 action on the Stanley Cup side of things. You got back in Sunrise, Florida, the Florida Panthers taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. The Florida Panthers, the winners of 3 straight, have found their groove to a degree, and defensively have really started to lock things down. Let's welcome in friend of show. You could hear him on the Zazo Show 2.0. You could hear him on ESPN 106.3 and ESPN Radio and a smattering of broadcasting. It is the voice of the 305. Let's get to it, Jonathan Zazo.
You might know him as the Cooper City Rattlesnake. He's the human flamethrower of Miami sports radio.
Hey, you could be a maniac without being a jerk.
The preacher of the Pat Riley Gospel.
They don't complain. They don't make excuses. This is the NBA. Deal with it.
The mayor of Dolphins Delusion.
Can the Bills' offense keep up with the Dolphins' offense?
And the only guy who can go from breaking down the Panthers' power play to cutting a full-blown Ric Flair promo. Woo! Jonathan Zaslow is the voice of the 305.
Zaz, welcome in. How you doing today? What's going on?
I'm doing very good. I mean, come on. We're going to get the weekend started off on the right foot. The Panthers looking to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals, then get a home win tonight. I'm feeling great. I got the Zaslow Mansion. We're ready to go. We got people coming over looking to end this series here tonight.
Now, Zaz, the one thing about this series that has been fascinating is imagine being the Toronto Maple Leafs. You're right. Classic collapse fashion. I actually think Toronto's going to play well tonight. We'll get into that a little later. But number one, the Toronto Maple Leafs, they were up, 3-1. They were up 2-0, and in Game 3, up 2-0 in the series, and it's just completely on a whim. That second period of Game 3 just completely turned around this series. And I guess the Panthers found their footing a little bit, and all of a sudden they're in a groove, and it's like the Toronto Maple Leafs forgot how to play hockey.
So I don't know why the Panthers were as sloppy as they were the first couple of games in this series. They certainly were. Turnovers, they were not sharp. They weren't even skating very well. They did not control the puck well. That has completely changed. It changed really sometime around Game 4, not even Game 3. I mean, they got lucky. They come back from the 3-1 deficit, and they win in overtime. And just the Panthers' style, like they suffocate you. They strangulate you through a 7-game series where, you know, if you saw the Panthers, you go into the third period with a lead, they cut you off. And I don't know if you guys saw this stat. This is almost hard. It's hard to believe. Tell me if you've heard anything like this before. The Panthers, under Paul Maurice in the playoffs, not when they lead like after 2 periods, when they lead a game after any period, they're 26-0 in the playoffs. So if they had to lead after the first period or after the second period, if they led after any period, 26-0. And it just shows you, like, this team, they strangle you, their style of play. And it feels like as the series goes on, it goes longer and longer, they wear the other team down. And maybe we saw that, you know, in Game 5, where they have worn down this Maple Leafs team.
Zaz, obviously the Maple Leafs known as chokers, but this would be would this be next level at this point? To Colin's point, they're up 3-0. They're up 2 games to nothing, had a chance to go up 3-0. Complete capitulation. Yeah,
I mean, it's not being up 3 games to none, which, by the way, has happened a handful of times, like 4 or 5 times in the history of the National Hockey League.
Right.
They weren't up 3 games to none, but 2 games to none.
2.5, essentially,
and it's not like they were up 2 games to none with both games going home for 3 and 4. That they were headed out on the road. But the key is, you know, like Mike mentioned, like Colin mentioned, it was a 3-1 game in the second period, up 2 games to none. And also, even get to overtime, they were a goal away from being up 3-0. So it's probably up there. And it kind of feels like, to me, guys, like I don't know what the fallout in Toronto will be, but the Panthers totally took the Boston Bruins soul. You know, they beat them 2 years in a row. One of them was after the Bruins set the record for greatest regular season of all time, and now the Bruins tore the whole thing down. Like, they're rebuilding the team. I wonder if something similar could happen to Toronto here if the Panthers end this thing tonight.
Yeah, they got to wonder. And listen, they've done a good job with Craig Berube, his first year as head coach, all things considered. But you're right, you can't lose 4 straight in a playoff setting like this. Zaz, when you're going to be watching the Panthers tonight, you got all the people at the Zaslow Mansion. What is going to be the drink of choice amongst all those Panther fans?
I mean, come on, this is so easy. Let me tell you a little about Yuengling, all right? America's oldest brewery, a proud sponsor of the Florida Panthers. That's why it's perfect for tonight. Yuengling Traditional Lager, a beer that, like true legend, stands the test of time, brewed by the same family for nearly 200 years. You know they know what they're doing. It's a crisp lager with a bold, smooth taste, perfect for game day. So whether you're cheering on from the stand tonight at the arena, or you're watching from your favorite bar, wherever you're at, or you're in the Zaslow Mansion like us, Yuengling is the taste of tradition. Yuengling legends stand the test of time.
Zaz, Brock Purdy gets a massive contract with the 49ers. He's one of the NFL's highest paid quarterbacks, I believe 7th on the list. He's making $53 million on an average, $265 million over 5 years. What is your initial reaction to this contract dropping? You think it's a good deal, bad deal? Did the Niners get the good side of the bargain? What's your perspective?
Yeah, I think it's a great deal for both sides. It's obviously a great deal for Brock Purdy, all right? But it's also a really good deal for the Niners, because we've had these conversations before. Everyone's had these conversations where, all right, if you get up into that $60+ million range, $65 million, where, like, it's got to be the highest paid guy, you know, who needs who more? I would say Brock Purdy needs the 49ers more than the 49ers need Purdy. Now, the Niners may need him, all right? He's a proven quarterback, albeit in their system. But let's take a step back and realize what's going on here. And that's Brock Purdy should be realizing, I got to get paid just like every other quarterback, but I also got to make sure I'm getting paid by this team with this head coach. He did that, and the Niners also did it in a way where, okay, he's not the highest paid guy. He's not even top 5 here. I think it's a good deal all around.
So it says, it's like comparatively to what, right? Where do the Niners go from here if they don't re-sign Brock Purdy? Like, for years, they went with Jimmy Garoppolo. For years, they've been able to kind of...
They tried the Trey Lance thing. That never really came to fruition.
For years, they've kind of just, you know, tried to figure this thing out, and it seems like they finally figured it out with Purdy, right? This is the smart move.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like I said, unless Purdy, you know, and his people are going to hold on to the idea, okay, I'm next in line, so I got to reset the market, that's stupid, all right? Like I said, I think he needs the Niners more than the Niners need him. But he comes out of this the last pick in the draft. I mean, think about that, guys. The last pick in the draft. I hate Mr. Irrelevant. Like, it really...
No, yeah. And it says...
The last pick in the draft here winds up signing the deal that's worth as much as, like you said, $265, $180 million in guarantees. Like, there's never going to be the last pick in the draft getting the deal that he just got. So he is a major success story, and while the Niners obviously had to make a bunch of moves to put themselves in this situation to be able to sign this deal against the cap, that's every single team. That's every team in the NFL. When it's time to sign the quarterback, has to clear space. We saw it happen with the Dolphins, so it really just is the cost of doing business.
And Zez, that's where I wanted to go next. You mentioned the Dolphins. They drafted Quinn Ewers late in that draft. Is there any, like, you say Tua's on that big contract. He's going to play if healthy, but you and I both know Tua's probably not going to play every single game. Are you at any point optimistic about Quinn Ewers maybe starting a game next year for Miami? I know they have Zach Wilson, but Zez, I'm gonna disregard Zach Wilson. I think Quinn Ewers might get a look next year if Tua's out.
Well, I wouldn't disregard Zach Wilson for this coming season if Tua's out, because, I mean, look, like, the Dolphins are going to try and sell the fan base on the idea of we're a playoff team. And by the way, the NFL seems to think the Dolphins are a playoff team too.
Five primetime games.
Yeah, I mean, you see the teams that got the minimum. We're talking Saints, Browns, and Titans. That's what the NFL's telling you. Those are not playoff teams. You get 5 primetime games. The NFL thinks you're a playoff team. So that's why you would get Zach Wilson in the inevitable games that Tua winds up missing. But it made sense to be drafting Quinn Ewers. Why not? Who knows if we get to a place it may even be as soon as a year from now where, I don't know, you know, Tua gets hurt or maybe Tua's not on the team anymore and the team decides, okay, we need to give somebody else a look. All right, well, guess what? You got this young quarterback you drafted. He's been in the system for a year or two now. Let's give him a look here. So I love that they drafted Quinn Ewers, but if Tua misses games, which he certainly will, you're going to get Zach Wilson. Because they're not just going to wave the white flag. You're going to get a quarterback who's played before.
Zaz, last thing here. Are you? What's your perspective on the NFL, once again, force-feeding the Dallas Cowboys, the Chiefs in every holiday, every big game you could possibly name, Detroit Lions in every big game you could find, the Eagles as well? Do you think the NFL did a good job at making their big games feel big with this schedule release?
Yeah, I got no problem with that kind of stuff, you know, because when it comes to, you know, we got all the fantasy football, we got the gambling. You know, if my team is not playing on those holidays, I don't care who the team is, as long as I got some skin in the game, all right? And it's easy to get skin in the game with, you know, all the options out there to get involved. So those are high-profile teams you just mentioned. Everybody, even the casual fan, knows all those players, makes all the sense in the world. The only one that's odd to me, and the NFL, you know, said, hey, we don't have any kind of heads up. We don't know about this kind of deal. The Steelers getting all the games that they got. I mean, I don't know. It kind of feels to me like they know Aaron Rodgers is going to be there, but the NFL said we have no idea. The Steelers getting all those games, that's a little bit strange to me.
Zaz, quickly on the Steelers. Bengals, Ravens, Chiefs, Bills. Are they better than any of those teams with Aaron Rodgers?
Oh God! Like I'm not endorsing Aaron Rodgers going there.
No, for sure, but it's just and Zaz, I apologize. I didn't make it to seem like you were, but like I find it funny that like everyone is making a big stink about Rodgers and going to Pittsburgh. And listen, I agree, Pittsburgh has no choice other than to get Aaron Rodgers. But what kind of team are they going to be even with Aaron Rodgers? It's going to be the same old 9, 8, 10-ish win team that loses first round of the playoffs. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I'm not sure that Aaron Rodgers at this point is a better quarterback than what Russell Wilson gave them last year. So I don't think that it's a guarantee that they're going to be a playoff team again. They're going to be over 500. But I guess, I mean, look, the Steelers are major brands. You know, after the Dallas Cowboys, Steelers might be the most popular team in the NFL. They certainly try. I think they're the number one team when it comes to travel. So I suppose it makes sense that they have all of those primetime games, but it feels like the league knows that Aaron Rodgers is about to sign there.
Zaz, where can people tune into you if they want to listen to more?
Zaslow Show 2.0. I mean, come on. Wherever you get your podcasts, just search Zaslow Show 2.0 or Miami-based, everything South Florida related. And when you do that, if you like, you rate, you comment, you tell your mother I say hello, all that good stuff. I love that. And, of course, every episode of Zaslow Show 2.0 is presented by Anna Jarin Levine, accident attorneys. If you're involved in an accident, you're dealing with a personal injury, they will get you the compensation you deserve. Anna Jarin Levine, accident attorneys, 800-747-FREE, 800-747-3733. I will ask you guys really quickly here on the way out, do the Celtics get a stay of execution tonight?
I think that this series is going to go 7. I do. I think that series is going to go 7.
Knicks finish it at home, Zaz. Knicks finish it at home.
I think the Knicks finish it at home, but I think that fourth quarter is going to be something. I think it's going to be tight, and I think that crowd's going to be pretty incredible in a tight fourth quarter.
Celtics shoot well. I'm not sure if the Knicks have the firepower to keep up with or without Tatum.
Zaz, quickly, told Colin that this was the game, I think, the marquee game we've been looking for. This is the game right now so far in the 2025 NBA playoffs. Would you agree?
Yeah, we hoped it was going to be one of the other games back in the Garden. And remember, it was a Saturday afternoon game. It was such a dud, and the Celtics blew them out. Yes, tonight is an incredibly unique game where you don't really know what to expect. and you can't wait to find out. But that gets small TV in the Zaslow Mansion family room tonight. You know the Panthers.
Absolutely,
Two TVs tops. Appreciate it, Zaz, as always. Looking forward to speaking again soon.
See you guys.
That's Jonathan Zaslow, of course, at the Zaslow Show 2.0. Go tune in there. Colin Russo, Mike Rizzo will blitz the book, close out the program next from Park Vista High School at some high school football jamboree spring football action. Taking a time out here on ESPN 106.3.
Live from the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 1-800-747-FREE. This is ESPN 106.3.
What's the Anajar Levine difference? When you're injured in a car crash, we focus on your case so you can focus on the one thing that matters most, getting better. I'm Glenn Levine with Anajar Levine. We'll fight to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. Call our legal team right now for a free consultation. 1-800-747-FREE. We'll help you take back control of your life. Call 1-800-747-FREE. That's 1-800-747-3733.
In office, West Palm Beach. It's the perfect day. You're just driving along, listening to your favorite music, the windows down. There's a cool breeze. Life is good. But wait, hold on a second. You're not wearing a seatbelt? You'd better put that on before that... Uh-oh, too late. Cops everywhere are stepping up enforcement, so you'd better buckle up or you will get caught. Sorry to ruin your day. Click it or ticket.
Funded by the Florida Department of Transportation.
Raising Cane's invites you to grab life by the chicken fingers. So get out there. Be you. Do you. Embrace whatever makes you, you. All while enjoying Raising Cane's hand-battered cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret recipe cane sauce that makes everything that much better.
Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love.
Cane's is coming soon to Tamarack at University and Commercial.
He lives in a pineapple under the sea. And he's back at Lone Depot Park. Marlins SpongeBob Day returns Sunday, June 1st as the Marlins take on the Giants. Last year, SpongeBob jersey broke the internet. This year, it's Patrick's turn. Add on the all-new Patrick jersey to your game ticket and complete the collection. Be there or be a barnacle. Grab your tickets now at marlins.com/SpongeBob.
Let's get back to the Anajar and Levine Accident Attorney Studios. This is Russo and Rizzo on ESPN 106.3.
Well, Russo and Rizzo rolls on here, and if you hear that music, you're curious on what's going on the PGA Championship second round. Christian Catt, our producer, has got you covered there.
Certainly do. Have had my eyes all over Quail Hollow all day long, and here's what the leaderboard looks like, brought to you by Pain Care Florida. At Pain Care Florida, their specialists use state-of-the-art procedures to relieve pain and get you moving. Pain Care Florida, stop hurting, start living today. Leaderboard updates also brought to you by the Breakers Palm Beach, Kaiser University, and PGA Golf Club. Jonathan Vegas, the Venezuelan, is still atop the leaderboard at 8 under, 2 shots ahead of the rest of the field. Matthew Pavone is at 6 under, as is Ryan Garrard, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Alex Smalley. They are all at 6 under par. Max Homa alone in 6th, 3 shots off the lead at 5 under. Scotty Scheffler still out on the course through 11 holes, 2 under today, 4 under on the tournament. That's 4 shots off the lead. Bryson DeChambeau's in the clubhouse. He's 3 under on the tournament, tied for 12th. And that was your leaderboard update, brought to you by Pain Care Florida.
Nice job, Christian. That's Christian Catt, of course. Colin Russo and Mike Rizzo with you. It's time for us to make a couple picks against the spread, maybe put together a little bit of a parlay as we close out a Friday edition. Let's blitz the book, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Send some heat. Pin your ears back. It's time to blitz the book. Presented by Hard Rock Bet.
Blitz the book, Hard Rock Bet on ESPN 106.3. Let's put together a parlay. What do we say? Let's start with the Celtics game tonight.
Yeah,
Celtics are +3.
I want to put this out there to you, too. I'm 4-5 in my last NBA bets. I've been really
4 out of 5?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I've won 4 out of my last 5 on the NBA and 3 in a row.
Okay.
Sorry. Won 4 out of my last 5, and I've won 3 in a row. Colin, I like the Knicks tonight. I like the Knicks -3. 3 at home?
Christian, what's your
Without
perspective?
Jason Tatum, am I missing something?
Well, they just lost by 22
Kyle,
points.
this is the game, though.
They just lost by 22 points.
Hear me out. Now, Christian, hear me out. This is their game. This is their game to do it in front of their fans, to make a statement, keep the storybook season going. The Mecca of basketball, New York Cup wins by 4 points tonight.
Got Celtics money line. That's what I'm
All right,
what I think is going to happen.
Are you guys confident on? All right. So if you guys,
I would bet the Celtics plus 3,
all right,
not the money
then
line.
do it. All right, Celtics plus 3. Book it.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm overruled. 2 against 3. That's what we do.
All right. Do you want to find an in between and do the over or the under?
No. I want to take Denver plus 7.5. I think Oklahoma City wins. I think Denver covers 7.5.
I would agree with this. Christian, would you agree with that?
Yeah, it's a lot of points for a Game 7. They're fighting for their lives. I like Denver plus the points.
All right, Christian, let's do our PGA Championship action. Let's do this. Scheffler is still plus 300, leader in the clubhouse. DeChambeau is plus 600. Then you got Vegas, who is plus 1,000. And then Fitzpatrick is plus 1,300. Is there anybody screaming to you, Christian?
I'm looking at live betting right here, right now.
Okay.
I'm looking at.
We don't have an eyes on the course. You're gonna have to help us out here.
I'm looking at the 17th hole. This is the threesome: Patrick Cantlay, Matt Fitzpatrick, and John Rahm. And you can pick between Rahm, Cantlay, Fitzpatrick to win the hole. Give me John Rahm plus 165 on the 17th hole.
So we're gonna know if our parlay's busted or not in about 10 minutes.
Have
here.
have they finished 16 yet?
They are on 16 now.
You want to go Rahm? How was Rahm done in the back 9?
Rahm's been strong. His short game's been saving him. Really good with the putter so far today.
Okay, we'll trust you.
All right, let's go with Rahm. I'm okay with that. Let's do that.
him.
So we'll add Rahm live bet. That is how this goes.
So that's why I said we're gonna know in 15 minutes.
It's a par 3, so we're gonna know off the tee box.
He's plus 165. He's par 3 too.
Kyle, can we take a Subway Series game if it be
yes,
tonight,
let's take the one
Saturday,
tonight.
Sunday?
Let's take the one tonight.
What are the Mets odds? I like the
Mets to win or plus 125.
Kind of like them. That's a dog bet. We'd be getting more value. I'm assuming Yankees are anywhere in the ballpark of minus 130, minus 120.
Let me see who's pitching. And pitching
Rodon
side,
tonight.
it's McGill is going against Rodon. Yeah, Rodon stinks. Let's go Mets.
Yeah, I like the Mets.
Yeah,
right,
Rodon stinks. Rodon in a big game, please. I'm not listening to this. All right, I like that. Mets to win plus 125. We have a PGA Championship. Let's take the Maple Leafs or Panthers tonight. Panthers to close it. They're minus 230. Or do you want to go over/under on goals? You want to see some goals tonight?
So
It's 5.5. I would take the over here.
Hang on. I know where you're going with this. You want to take Toronto, don't you?
I'm fine with taking the over/under at 5.5.
Let's do it.
Fireworks, I like it.
Yep, let's do that. Especially
Over/under.
with me. Yeah, let's do that.
And we remember, Christian, when we were at the Orange Bowl, Colin and I made a vow that we would never take an under bet because it was such a boring watch rooting for no scoring.
Oh, we lost it in the third quarter.
Well,
yes.
that too.
All right, that's plus 3,884. How about that? Celtics plus 3, Nuggets plus 7.5. John Rahm to win hole 17, which is happening in about 4 seconds. Mets to win at the Yankees in the first game of the Subway Series tonight. And total goals, Maple Leafs and Panthers tonight. That is 5.5, the number there. That is plus 3,800. I like it. I think this is one of our better ones yet, weirdly enough. It's a lot of underdogs.
Cup of coffee makes you $200. How about that? $5. Easy.
I like it.
And we're going to know in 10 minutes when John Rahm,
we'll know before the show is over.
When John Rahm puts one with the fishes in about 10 minutes here.
Yeah, unbelievable. So we got to see how he tees off on a par 3 on 17. This was Christian's idea, by the way, to take that. But nonetheless, we'll see what happens there as the PGA Championship rolls on throughout the weekend down at Quail Hollow. We've had a wonderful week. We appreciate everybody climbing aboard with us. We got to continue onward, though. We're at Park Vista High School at the Spring Football Jamboree, 6 teams live and in person. And we got to talk to some coaches. I believe I'm going to talk to Coach Alex Savakinas of Boca Raton High School on the flip side, start of the second hour. And then maybe a little coach of Brandon Walker of Joaquin Garcia football as well. Looking forward to doing a little bit of that. Stick around for it as ESPN West Palm High School game day is on the horizon. That was Mike Rizzo. That was Christian Cat. My name is Colin Russo. I'll be back at it. Mike, we'll see you tomorrow, Saturday tailgate,
Absolutely.
9 a.m. And you'll see me on Sunday Huddle, 10 a.m. This coming Sunday. We'll be back at it with Russo and Rizzo, 4 to 6 p.m. on Monday. It's been Colin Russo saying so long on ESPN 106.3.